I started my Colorado Trail thru hike in just a few short weeks. And I have so much going on in those few weeks before I start the trail that I am feeling a little overwhelmed. I feel like that time is gonna go by so fast. And so I've really started this weekend like preparing for the trail. And one of the ways that I've started preparing is putting together some resupply boxes. So I never did resupply boxes on my Appalachian Trail thru hike. I just did not feel that it was necessary on the AT. There are so many towns and it is so easy to get to these towns along the AT that I just felt like it was easier to not have to deal with post office hours or staying at certain hostels or whatever in order to get resupply boxes sent there. So instead, on the AT, I just bought all of my supplies along the way. I never had a problem getting food or supplies or anything I needed along the AT. That being said, for the CT, a lot of the towns that you go to along the CT are really small mountain towns. And I've heard that some of them just don't have good resupply options, or if they do have resupply options, like some of them are really expensive. So my friend Pika, who you guys, if you watch my channel, you will have seen her on my channel before. We do a lot of Colorado outdoor adventuring together. We ski, we hike, we backpack, we do all the Colorado things together. She has actually hiked the entire Colorado Trail before. She thru-hiked it in 2019. Actually, the very first time that I met Pika was she messaged me on Instagram. We had a mutual friend. She messaged me and she was like, I'm starting the Colorado Trail this weekend. I'm a little nervous. I know that you live in Colorado. Will you do the first section with me, which is about 17 miles? And I was like, heck yeah, let's go. So I went, we became fast friends. Pika continued the Colorado Trail and she did the entire thing. And so she has given me some advice, which is to send resupply boxes to 3 specific towns that she just thinks the resupply options are not great. So I'm following Pika's advice and I'm sending myself a resupply box full of food and things to Twin Lakes, Silverton, and Lake City. And by the way, if you guys are unfamiliar with the Colorado Trail, it traverses the state of Colorado. It goes from the Denver area all the way down to Durango, which is nearest to the New Mexico border. It's almost a 500-mile trail. The length depends on if you take the collegiate east section or the collegiate west section. If you take the east, it's a little shorter. It's 486 miles, I believe. And if you take the west, it's 491 miles. I'm gonna be taking the west. So it's a 491-mile trail and I will have a month to do it. So like I said, I'll be starting in a few short weeks. So if you're interested in the CT, I am going to be filming my journey. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you get value out of this video, please give me a like. And for more real-time updates, I'm also over on Instagram at AudiePain. But anyway, in this video, so I just started putting together these 3 resupply boxes that I'm gonna be sending to myself. And basically I have figured out how many days of food that I'm going to need from those 3 specific towns. For example, from Silverton, it's 80 miles to the next town, which is Durango, and I have to average about 16 miles a day. So I'm basically assuming that I'm gonna need 5 days of food from Silverton. So I'm sending myself a 5-day resupply box in Silverton. I will say though, I do plan on, in these towns, supplementing these boxes a little bit. So this isn't necessarily going to be every single thing that I'm gonna hike out of Durango with, especially lunch foods. I'm not necessarily including the whole thing because I like to get like some bread product with cheese for my lunches, or sometimes I'll do like peanut butter and honey or almond butter and honey and some bread product, but I don't wanna have to send the bread products in advance because I don't really wanna eat tortillas. I'd rather get sandwich thins or even just regular bread or bagels or something like that. And I'd also like to bring along some cheese, and obviously I'm not gonna be mailing myself cheese like several weeks in advance. So these resupply boxes aren't necessarily every single thing that I'm gonna be hiking out of town with, but it is the vast majority of the food that I will need for that resupply. Did I just say hike out of Silverton with, or did I say Durango? If I said Durango, I meant Silverton. So I'm gonna show you guys today, since I mentioned Silverton already, I'm gonna show you what my resupply box looks like for Silverton. And so this is actually the last town before Durango, which is the end of the trail. So I'm anticipating I'm gonna be pretty darn hungry by this point, averaging 16 miles a day up until I get to this point. So in my Silverton box, I have about 5 days worth of food, but again, I will be supplementing with some lunch stuff and probably some snack stuff as well. But let's get into the box and let me show you what is in here. Oh, and if you're wondering where exactly in these towns I'm going to be sending these boxes, that is actually something I have not figured out yet, but it'll either be general delivery at a post office, or sometimes hostels will let you send a box to them if you're going to stay with them. The downside of sending the box to a post office is that, especially in small towns, post offices can have kind of wonky hours. And so, like, what if I arrive in one of these towns on a Saturday night? I would then have to wait around the town until the post office opened on Monday to go in and get the box, which is one reason that I did not do resupply boxes on the AT. So I'm just gonna kind of have to plan around that and think to myself, like, okay, if I have a box in this small town, I gotta get there before it closes on Saturday, or I gotta get there, like, you know, at a time when I don't mind waiting around. Another option is I'm gonna look into if there are hostels in the towns that I might wanna stay at that will take resupply boxes, but I haven't actually done research on that yet, so I'm not quite sure, but those are two pretty common options for where you would send resupply boxes. By the way, did I mention I got my hair done today? I'm really digging it. Thank you to April at Sunbeam Studios in Boulder. I love it. April's awesome. I have to apologize, it's not the easiest to get this box and myself in the frame, but I'm trying. Okay, so first and foremost, when I was on the AT, I ate a ton of ramen, nor pasta sides, indomie, which is fancy ramen. Those were my dinners. And I came off with some nutritional deficits, namely anemia. And I also had high cholesterol just from eating so much junk food the whole time. So this time I am still eating backpacker food, obviously. And getting nutritional backpacker food is a real challenge because obviously the food needs to last a long time and be lightweight, and you don't want to be spending an arm and a leg on it. But because I am working a 9-to-5 job right now, unlike when I was hiking the AT, I have splurged on a lot of more expensive items. And this is not something that you need to do. If you don't have a ton of extra money for like the fancy backpacker meals, you definitely don't have to get these. So I'm not trying to insinuate that, but I just want to explain why you're going to see more of the expensive stuff in this box. I did splurge on like a lot of the bigger or the more expensive backpacker meals. But again, you definitely don't have to. But anyway, that being said, let's start with dinners. So I tried to get a variety of the fancy backpacker meals. This one's really good. It's a Peak Refuel Butternut Dal Bhat, which is a lentil, chickpea, rice, and butternut squash dish. It's super good. My friend Kelsey let me try hers when I was out backpacking with her once. I really like Backpacker's Pantry. This is actually a local Boulder brand, and like, you know, you gotta love the local companies. Boulder, Colorado is where I live. And they also their meals tend to be really delicious. Like, they're basically the best brand that I found. I really, really like them. But also their meals tend to be high protein, which I really like because I'm a vegetarian, and so finding basically sources of protein on the trail as a vegetarian is kind of difficult sometimes. So the Backpacker's Pantry meals really help me out. So this is their green curry meal. This is actually one of the lower protein meals I've seen of theirs. This is only 13 grams, but a lot of theirs have like a lot of protein. I haven't tried this green curry one yet, though I'm excited to because I really love Thai food. And then I have a Fernway Foods one. I also really like this company. This is their mushroom pot pie. This is a vegan backpacker brand, and their meals are actually quite pricey, so I don't buy them all the time, but I do like to buy them as a treat, and so I bought one of their dinner packs for the CT, so that was like a 5-pack of the different dinners that they have. And this is their mushroom pot pie one. It comes with like little crouton things that you put on after the meal has cooked. It's super good. I've had this one before, so I'm pumped. I'm pumped to have that on the trail. And then I got the classic top ramen. This is the soy sauce flavor. This is the vegetarian flavor. If you are a vegetarian, this is the kind of ramen that you can get. Is the top ramen, not the Maruchan or whatever the other brand is. You gotta get the top ramen soy sauce. That's vegetarian. And then I ate this a ton on the AT. I love it. It's indomie. It's just basically fancy ramen. And this is just their instant noodle stir fry flavor. I'm a big fan of this. So that's what we got for dinners, because this is basically 5 days of food, not counting lunches and some extra snacks. I threw myself in one fancy breakfast. This is the grits from Inertia Trail Foods. I really like this company. I've collaborated with them on social media before, but I actually just bought this myself because I liked them so much when they gave me free ones for a collaboration. So these grits are made with blueberries, honey, there's like cream cheese powder in here, powdered butter. These are so good. This is a 500 calorie breakfast and it's super delicious. And because this box is for basically the end of the trail, I just assume I'm gonna be starving. So I was like, I'll give myself one fancy breakfast in addition to the other like bars that I have for other breakfasts. So that gets me into this bag of stuff. I have Scratch Labs Hydration Mix. This is another Boulder brand and it's really tasty. This is the fruit punch flavor. I was trying to give myself one for each day, but then I ran out, so I had to order more, so I'll add another pack in here. Got a bunch of bars for snacks and breakfast. I generally like the Nature Valley bars, like any kind of Nature Valley bar. I like these ones, they're the wafers. I like their crunchy granola bars. I like their almond butter bars, which I eat these a lot for breakfast. These are almond butter biscuit bars. So I basically eat myself one bar for breakfast and one bar for a snack every day. I have these fruity snacks like Fruit by the Foot, Sour Patch Kids. I have some Gushers in here. I have some other little candies. Yeah, just things like that. I have some dried fruits. In this one, I have dried kiwis. Actually, I never had dried kiwis before, but I love kiwis, so hopefully they're good. Got these at Target. And I'm gonna have to get some lunch supplies, as I mentioned, but I just had a couple of extra packets of Justin's almond butter, also a Boulder brand. Did not really realize I had so many Boulder brands in here. But anyway, I had a couple of packets of Justin's almond butter, so I threw that in there thinking like, oh, maybe I'll want peanut butter sandwich or almond butter sandwiches for lunch one day, in addition to whatever cheese and bread product I end up getting. I'm a huge coffee person. I gotta have my coffee every single morning, even while I'm on trail. So this is a bag full of coffees. There's a variety of different kinds, but I really like these ones from Copper Cow. These are pour overs, so it's actual real coffee. It's not instant coffee. These are definitely more pricey, the pour overs. I like Copper Cow brand. I also like Kuju brand, but something I really love about the Copper Cow brand is they have these lattes. So you get the pour over coffee and then you get this little creamer mixture. It's basically sweetened condensed milk. It says it's milk and sugar, but it's essentially sweetened condensed milk. And you make the coffee and then you pour this in there. Oh, so good. So freaking good. Not a Boulder brand, but still very delicious. Women-owned brand, which I really appreciate. But anyway, these are super good. I have a variety of flavors in here. That one specifically was the vanilla latte. I also have like classic salted caramel, a few other things as well. And then I threw in a couple of extra coffees in addition to one each day, just in case I want to have like an afternoon coffee one day. I'm planning to send these boxes via ground shipping because I've been hearing that fuel canisters are really tough to get. And I've been noticing they're really tough to get around Boulder. There's a shortage for some reason. Something as a result of the pandemic, like so many things, like the supply chain is just still being really affected. So I've been hearing, especially in the mountain towns, it's been really tough to get fuel. And I do not want to be a cold soaker. You can't make a pour over coffee via cold soaking, right? So I'm planning to ship these in advance, like farther in advance than I normally would, and actually ground ship them so that I can send this fuel, because you can't put the fuel on airplanes, it's flammable, but you can send it via ground shipping. And finally, I put myself in there an extra pack of cleansing wipes because I like to give myself a little bath every single night on the trail. And then I also put some shampoo in there. I'm assuming that I'll be staying at a hostel. Sometimes those places have shampoo or conditioner or soap or whatever, but sometimes they don't. I would have also liked to include conditioner because I have long hair and it gets like real nasty out on the trail and it's gonna need some conditioning love. But they didn't have like little baby conditioners at Target when I went. I don't know why, they just happened to be out. Hopefully before I actually send this box out, I'll still be able to get some little baby conditioners. But for this box specifically in Silverton, I'm less worried about it because I'm probably gonna stay at a place called the Avon, which is a historic hotel and hostel. My dear friend Seth is the part owner of this hotel and hostel. He doesn't actually live in Colorado. He lives in Idaho, but he's the part owner. He comes out a couple times a year to the hotel. But anyway, so I have stayed there before, and I'm pretty sure in the bathrooms they had shampoo and conditioner and soap, because it's a really nice place. I'd really recommend checking it out if you are down in Silverton. And I'm definitely planning to stay there this time, and I assume they're gonna have conditioner. So I was a little less worried about this box, but for the other boxes I'm sending, I really would like to be able to condition my hair, because a lot of hostels especially will have shampoo, but they'll forget about us long-haired folks, and they will not have conditioner, and I really need it. So anyway, hopefully there will be conditioner in all the towns that I go to. Wish me luck on that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have in here. I also just threw some extra Ziploc bags. In one of the boxes, I put an extra thing of toilet paper, just assuming at that point in the trail I'll probably need one. And you know, I could put toilet paper in all of these boxes, but the box right before this is only gonna be like 4 days before this box. So I don't think I'm gonna need another one by then, but if I do, I can buy some, I'm sure, in Silverton. So yeah, that's what I'm putting in my resupply boxes. Again, I'll probably get some extra snacks and some lunch supplies like in town, but I wanted to make sure that I had the majority of the food taken care of, especially because I am a vegetarian, and so it can be tough if a place doesn't have a lot of backpacker meals and they just tend to have like ramen and north sides. They don't always have the vegetarian ones. So I just wanted to get kind of the big stuff taken care of, and then I can supplement after that. So yeah, that's what's going in my resupply boxes. Stay tuned for more videos about how I'm preparing to start my Colorado Trail thru hike. And then of course I'll be filming while I'm out there on trail as well. I feel like even though I'm filming this and I have a few weeks before my start date, I know it's gonna go by so fast. So wish me and my friends luck. I'll be out there with my friends Ibex and Dory, who Ibex and I did the entire AT together basically, and Dory hiked with us through the state of Maine, and he's been our adventure buddy ever since. Like, he did the Foothills Trail with us this year. We all went back to the AT for a week last year, which was amazing. So I'm so pumped that those two are gonna be coming along with me. So you're gonna see me and them in the CT videos to come. Anyway, if you have any questions about sending resupply boxes or what to put in them, or you have any comments about what you love to send yourself in resupply boxes, because I am always looking for new ideas on delicious trail foods, please let me know. And like I said, make sure you're subscribed if you're interested in what it's like to hike the Colorado Trail. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk to you all next time. See ya.